Hi everyone, this is PowerPoint 2016 Module 3, Inserting Objects into the Presentation. And in this module, we're going to continue working on the presentation that we started in Chapter 2. We're going to be inserting some text from Microsoft Word. We're also going to add some visual elements into the presentation, including a photograph, a table, and a chart. And then we're going to format these objects using PowerPoint's object editing features. So with that, let's get started. As you can see, I am already in SAM. I'm going to scroll down to locate the PowerPoint 3 textbook project assignment. And when you get to the download file, you're going to notice that not only do we have a start file, but we have 3 additional files. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on my start file. We're going to, as we usually do, we have our start file open up in PowerPoint in the application that we're working on. So in this case it's PowerPoint, so I'm going to say OK. And we see that that file has loaded. I want to go back to our screen here. While we are doing the assignment, they're going to be asking us for additional files, and so we'll take a look at some of the files that we're going to be working with. The first file that they'll ask us for is going to be a PowerPoint, and it's 3-2.docx. That tells me that's a Word file. The second file in the list is a .jpg. That is an image file. And then the final file that we're going to download is another PowerPoint file. So when I download these files, I don't want to open them. I actually just want to save them. Unless they ask me to open the file, then I'll open them. But so for now, I'm just going to save the file, and it automatically by default is saved to my downloads folder, which I have saved, and it is on my desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and select the next file and make sure I'm saving the file, I'm not opening it, and I'll say OK. And then I'll go to the third and final file. This is a PowerPoint. Notice it wants to open it in PowerPoint. I don't want it to open. I clearly just want to say save, and again I'll say OK. Now I want to show you where I have these files located. So I'm going to move on back to my desktop, and I have a folder on my desktop called Downloads. Here it is right here. So if I open up this file, I'm going to see the files that they asked me for. Here they are, 3-2, 3-3, 3-4. So they're the files that at some point during the instructions they're going to ask me for, so I know where these files are located. I'm going to go back to SAM here. Remember, we want to copy the file name from SAM so we can come back to this window here and submit the file to be graded by the SAM grader. Alright, so let's get started here. So let me locate our file here. I have 2 of those open. So here is our start file. Alright, so this looks very familiar to us. We worked on some of this. We actually worked on, I believe, I'm not really sure. I can't quite remember. 1 through 5, I believe, or maybe even 6. Alright, actually all 6 of these. Alright, it's coming back to me now. We had 6 slides, and if you remember, we inserted this Smart Art. We actually created this artwork here. They had us do some editing to our heading here. Alright, so in this module we're going to pick up where we left off. So we are going to insert some text from Microsoft Word. Alright, so our file is open, and let's go ahead and save our file, because notice I'm only in here as a read only. So let me do a file, save as, and I'm going to browse and save this to my desktop, and then I'm going to paste the name as instructed. Alright, so I have my file saved. So the first thing we want to do is they want us to look at our presentation in the outline view. So I'm going to come up to my View tab, and I'm going to switch to an outline view. We're going to click on, if it's not already selected, we're going to click on the slide 6 icon right over here on the left hand side, and on the home tab on the ribbon I need to activate the home tab, and on my ribbon I want to go to the new slide list, and I want to go all the way down to the bottom and say slides from outline. So we see that slide 6 appeared on my slide pane, and then the insert outline dialog box opened. So this is what we're working with here. So before we can insert an outline into the presentation, we want to make sure where we want the new slides to be placed. So we want the text from the Word document inserted as new slides after slide 6. So we are now going to navigate to where we stored our data files. So remember, we downloaded those 3 files. I need to go to my desktop, and on my desktop I have that folder called Downloads, so I'm going to open that up. And the file that I need to open up is PowerPoint _ 3-3.docx. So I'm going to select that file name, and I'm going to say Insert. And after I click that button, I'm going to see that 6 new slides, 7 through 12, are added to my presentation. The new slide 7 appears in the pane. So this is what I'm seeing over off to the right. And we can scroll down using our outline pane, and we can read the text for all the new slides. There's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We're going to return to a normal view. I can go to my View tab and select Normal, or I can come right down to my status bar and choose the Normal, and that brings me back where I see slides on the left-hand side. So I'm going to click on the slide 7 thumbnail, and I want to press my Control button, and I want to click on my slide 12 thumbnail. All right, so this is selected. I'm going to hold down the Control key. I want to scroll down, and I'm going to click on my slide 12. With both of those selected, we're going to choose the Cut button on the clipboard because we want to remove these 2 slides from our presentation. So we selected them. Notice that they're both selected here and here. I'm going to say Cut, and they're gone. We now want to organize our slides. So we want to take slide number 10, and we would like to move that above slide 8. So slide 10 will become slide 8. So I'm going to hold down my mouse. I'm on slide 10, and I'm going to move this so it is in the 8th position. And as I release my mouse, I see off to the left the 8 appear. I'm going to click on the slide 7 thumbnail in my slide pane. This time I'm going to hold down my Shift key, and I want to click on slide 10, and that selects a range of slides. I want to reset these. I want these to look and feel like the first part of my presentation. So we're going to reset the slides. We're going to come up to the slide group, and there's a button called Reset. Next, I want to go to my Layout button in my slide group, and I want to select a title and content slide. So I've just modified these new slides. Now follow the presentation and the design and the font themes of the existing presentation. Let's go ahead and we'll save those changes. Now we want to insert a picture, and we're going to put some style onto that picture. I'll click on slide number 6, and that it releases this grouping of slides. So I click on slide number 6 in the thumbnail, and I want to, in the content placeholder of the slide, okay, we call these, remember, we call these content placeholders, and the content can either handle or hold text, as we see over here, or it could hold one of these 6 objects. We want to select the pictures icon, and we want to navigate to where we stored those data files that we downloaded. And remember, I stored mine on my desktop in the downloads folder. So I'm going to navigate to the desktop. I'm going to open up the download folder, and we're going to find the picture. Here you're seeing some of my images, but we need to find the picture for our course. So this is the PowerPoint. They want 3-3.jpg, and I'll say insert, and it's going to place it in that placeholder. We need to crop this image. All right, so with this image selected, notice I have a Picture Tools tab, and there is a Format tab, and we want to make sure that the tools are actually activated. So if you don't see the tools, then you need to click on the actual tab itself. We want to go to our size group, and we want to go to the crop button. So I want to click on the crop button in my size group, and you'll notice it now has these handles. All right, they call them cropping handles, and they appear next to the sizing handles on the object. They would like us to place the pointer over our middle left. So here's the one on the left, and it's the one in the middle. And I want to drag the picture to the right, and then release the mouse. So we're going to drag this to, this is the middle left. And I'm going to actually undo that. That's not what we want to do. I actually do want to come here, but we want to pull it this way to the right. All right, so let's see, how much are we going to, we're kind of going to look at that man there. We actually want to get that guy that is in the picture right over here. See where I'm at? We actually want to remove him. We don't actually want him in the picture. So we're taking that gentleman who is bending over, and we're going to get him about mid-waist. All right, so we're getting rid of that left portion of the image. We want to get rid of that. And to get out of the cropping mode, I'm going to hit the escape key. So I just hit the escape key, and that gets me out of that editing mode, and I now see that I have removed that portion of the image that I don't want in there. I want to adjust the width. So take a look at the width. They want the width number to be a 3.08. We're actually pretty close. I'm going to click in the box, and I'm just going to backspace. I have a 3 point, and we want that to be 0.8. So we want it 3.08 wide, and then we want you see that come out a smidge there, okay? And in the size group, they want us to type a 4. Oh, actually, I am wrong here. They actually want us to select this and then change the size to a size 4. So it's 4 inches or 4 points. Okay, I need to select it again. So it should be 4 inches wide. And so the height and the width will increase proportionally. Okay, I apologize for that. I was misreading the instruction. Now we want to go to the More button in our Picture Styles group. Notice my image is still selected. Here's my Picture Styles group. I want to go to the More button, and they want us to just move our pointer over the thumbnails so we see that live preview. And then ultimately we're going to select the bevel rectangle. It's in the 3rd row. I think it's this last one. Bevel rectangle. That's the style that we're going to select. It has rounded corners. Now we want to go to our Adjust group. So there's our Adjust group, and up here we want to go to our Corrections button. and you'll see that there are a number, we can correct the image in terms of sharpness and brightness and contrast. So they want us to point our thumbnails again, so we can see that live preview. We're not getting that. We actually see the preview. You got to hover there quite a while for that effect for your monitor to adjust. They want us to select in the sharpen and soften section a sharpen 25%. There's soften, soften, sharpen. There it is. Sharpen 25%. Next, we're going to go still in the adjust group. This time we want to go to the artistic effects. And again, we mouse over and we get to see the effects of what that image would look like using the different types of artistic effects. They don't want us to actually use any of those, so we're going to click now in the blank area of our slide. We're going to drag our picture to the center of the blank area of that slide. It's going to be to the right of the text object. And let's see if we're going to use our guides. Kind of put it right over here. Alright, so let's see. Dragging the picture to the center of this blank area. So they want it in the center of this blank area over here. So I'm going to say about here. And we're just eyeballing that. And then we're going to deselect that image. We'll come back up to our taskbar up top and we will save our changes. Now we're going to insert a text box. Still working on slide number 6. We're going to go to the Insert tab on the ribbon, and we're going to click the text box in the text group. So let's locate our text group. Here is the text box. We're going to click the text box. We're going to take our pointer to the blank area below that object on the slide, and we're going to drag our pointer down and towards the right about 3 inches to create a text box. So you're just going to roughly figure about 3 inches. And we're going to create a text box about that long. So when you dragged your mouse to the right, you saw an outline of the box appears. So this indicates the size of the box that you're going to be drawing. When we release that, we see that our mouse is blinking. The insertion point is blinking inside the box, and so it's like a word processing box, and so now we can enter in some text. So inside of here we're going to type in Village Chief actually a lowercase c in March 2017 inaugurates new hand pump. So notice that as you type, the text box increased inside as your text wrapped 2 additional lines to inside of the text box. Alright, so after it should look, they have theirs on 2 lines. I'm going to make my box a little bit longer on both sides. There we go. So there's, I'm looking at the image in the text, and theirs is on 2 lines, not 3. So I just adjusted the width of my box. We're now going to drag our mouse over the phrase in March 2017, and we're going to select that, and we want to position our cursor, our mouse, on top of that phrase, and we're going to press and hold down the left mouse button. So I'm holding it down. Can you see there's actually an icon below there? We're going to drag the selected words to the right of the word pump, and then we're going to release the mouse. So a gray insertion point insertion line appeared as we dragged. That indicates where PowerPoint is placing that text when we release our mouse button. So the phrase that we had highlighted in March 2017, we moved after the word pump. Notice that we don't have a space between the word pump and in. All right, and so it will appear as a misspelling. Okay, we want to do a right click in there, and we can quickly fix that. Let's move our cursor to the edge of our text box, and we want our cursor to change. Notice the different forms of our cursor. We want our pointer to change to where we see the cross arrows, and that will allow us to click the text box and select. It changes from a broken line to a solid line, and we want to italicize this. So we'll go up to our font group, and I'm going to say italicize, and my text inside the box is now italicized. This is considered a shape, so I want to go up to my shape fill list arrow. I want to activate my format tab here. Here's my shape fill. Let's go to that list arrow in my drawing group, and I want to select a light green background 2. It's going to be a long list, so let's find light green first. Here's light green, background 2. It wants a darker 10%. That's the one we want. We want a light green background 2, darker 10%. Next, we're going to go to the shape outline list arrow in the drawing group still, and this time we want a dark red, accent 1, so I'll locate the dark red first, accent 1, and now we want a lighter 40%. There's 80, 60, this should be 40. All right, so we have a green background with a red border. We want to take our cursor over the edge of our text box. All right, now we're going to move the box. I'm going to take this, and it should be below here. This is they originally had you create the box over here. We actually created the box exactly where it needed to be, but I want to make sure though that it's actually centered, and I'm looking at those guides, so I'm going to move it so I can see that it's actually aligned center with the image above. All right, let's go ahead and save our changes. Now we're going to insert a chart. We're going to move now to slide number 2. And with slide number 2 as my thumbnail, I'm going to hit the Enter key. And by pressing the Enter key, it's going to add a new slide to my presentation. It's going to have the slide layout of the selected slide. So in this case, it was a title and content slide layout. Let's go ahead and click in our title placeholder, and we're going to type in our title, population, growth comparison. I believe I spelled that wrong. Yes, I did. All right, so I quickly did a right click to correct my spelling typo. We're going to come down to our placeholder here, our content placeholder. Last time we worked with a picture, okay? This time now we are going to insert a chart. So we're going to locate where it says Insert Chart. And so the dialog box opens, and we see all the different types of charts. We're going to take the default two-dimensional cluster column, and we'll just simply say OK. Now the PowerPoint window will display a cluster column chart below the worksheet, and it's going to have some sample data. All right, so we see some sample data in here. some of this information should be familiar to you, as we just completed Microsoft Excel. So we see our category labels, and we see the labels vertically as well as horizontally. And we're going to change these around. We're going to edit this. So we're going to move our pointer in the worksheet. We're going to click in cell C4. C4, there we go. And that shows us that that is our active cell. Okay, we see that. All right, so we're going to keep this data for now. We're not going to, well, at some point we will edit it, but right now we're just placing the chart into the worksheet. We're going to change the layout. We're going to go over to, on my worksheet title bar, I actually want to close this out. And I want to go to my layouts, my quick layouts. I see them over here. And they would like me to choose a layout 1. All right. And I will click anywhere to deselect that. And now let's move on. Now we're going to enter some data, and we're going to edit the chart data. So again, now let's click on this chart to activate it on slide 3. Notice our chart tools. We have 2 tabs, one design and one for format. We want to activate our design tab on the ribbon, and there's an option there that says enter data. All right, so we are going to say, or I'm sorry, edit data. We choose edit data. Clicking the arrow gave us some options. Just clicking the icon will automatically open it up. So we're going to edit the data. So we're going to click in series 1, and in series 1 we're going to type in Kenya. I'm going to hit the tab key and type in Uganda. And tab again and South Africa. I'm now going to click in where it says category 1, and I'm going to type in 1990. Hit the enter key and type in 2000. Enter key again, 2010. Enter 2015. So our data series labels appear in the worksheet along. So notice as we look down below, we can see the years are represented on the down below here as our x-axis. Okay, and then we see our legend over here has also changed. All right, so we're done working with the data. We're just going to keep the data that they have in there. I'm going to close that out. We didn't change any of that information. We're going to now click in the chart title text box, this box right up here. And we're going to click, type a 25-year trend. We want to change this to 25-year trend. So let me see, just double checking what we're doing here. We closed our worksheet title bar, and they asked us to click the chart title text box object. All right, so this is selected. Okay, so I have that selected, and now we're just simply going to type in 25-year trend. So by selecting the actual box and beginning to type, we're replacing the previous text that was in there. Now we're going to choose the Chart Styles button. All right, that should it should be to the right of the chart, and we want to open up our chart styles gallery. And I don't see this over here, so when I click on my chart, now it appears. All right, so they would like us to select the paintbrush. And so this opens up my chart styles button. And we're going to scroll down in the gallery and we're going to select style number 6. So hover over, there's 4, there's 5, and this is style 6. So we're going to select style 6. We're going to go to the color at the top of our chart styles gallery. See here we see change color. And we want a color 3 palette. Looking at my options here. It's going to be in the color for section, and it's number 3. We're going to click in the blank area of our slide of the slide and to deselect, and then we'll save our changes. Next, we're going to insert some slides from another presentation. Let's go ahead, and we need to make sure that we are where we would like these slides to be placed. So I need to click on the slide 6 thumbnail, and I want to go to my new slide list. I want to hit the arrow, and this time I want to say reuse slides, and this is going to open up a reuse slide pane on the right hand side. We need to navigate and find the slides that we would like to reuse. So if you remember, I saved everything to my downloads folder that is on my desktop. So I'm going to navigate to my desktop. I'm going to look for that downloads folder, and this is the file that they would like me to use. PowerPoint _3-4.pptx. And then I'm going to say open. And as I say open, the slides from that presentation appear to the right in that pane. We're going to point to each slide in the reuse slide pane. Just point to them, not select them, and we're going to see the tip pop up that reads us what the title of each of these, what each of the title is for each one. We're going to click on the one that says Strategies for Managing Water Demand. So let me come back up. Strategies for Managing Water Demand. Let me make sure. Strategies for Managing Water Demand. Okay, they all seem to say this. So let's see if there's one that one says Strategies for Managing Water Demand as well, and then below it says, not bolded, Strategies for Managing. So again, I'm just double checking my work since they all say. So the title of my presentation obviously is Strategies for Managing Water Demand, and then there is additional titles on each of these. So we're going to go back up to the first one. I'm not committed yet. I want to double check my instructions here. All right, so this is the slide that we want. This slide is now going to become slide 7. Notice that the new title slide assumes the design style and the formatting of our presentation. Look at it over here. It has a completely different theme, but when I inserted it into my presentation, it now adopted this new theme. And we call that the destination presentation. So this is my source. This is or bringing it into our existing presentation. We refer to that as the destination. All right, so we see down below it says keep source. We mark that on there. They ask us to click on the Keep Source Formatting checkbox at the bottom of our reuse slide. And now we want to select the Water Restructuring Policy slide, the one that says Water Restructuring. which is the second slide. So this slide is going to have that feel of what it looks like from the source. And now we're going to uncheck the Keep Source Formatting. So the new slide keeps the design style and the formatting of our source presentation. We're going to click on the Slide 7 thumbnail. And then we're going to click on each of the remaining 3 slides. These 3 slides, we're going to add them in here. So we're going to click 1, 2, 3. So 3 more slides are inserted into our presentation with the design, style, and formatting of our destination. We realize that slides number 7 and 11 aren't needed. So we don't want this slide, nor do we want this one. So I'm going to click on slide number 11. I'm going to hold down my control key, click slide number 7. I'm going to right click on my slide 7 thumbnail and I'm going to choose delete slide. And both of those slides are removed. We're done working with the reused slides. So we're going to go over here and we're going to close that out. Click in the blank space of our presentation and save our changes. Now we want to insert a table. Let's move on down to slide number 9. And we're going to add a new slide. So come up to New Slide. We're going to click in our title placeholder and we're going to call this Technology Considerations. So we have a new slide with the title and content appears. We're going to go to our content placeholder. This time we're going to go down to the table icon, and the number of columns, we need to specify what we want. So we are going, in the number of columns, we're going to click the down arrow 2 times until we see 3, and the number of rows, we're going to click that up twice till we see 4. And then I'll say OK. Now we're going to add in some of our information. So in the first cell, we're going to type in financial. Tabbing, using the tab key on my keyboard, will move me from cell to cell. Next column is going to be maintenance. And final column is population. I hit my tab key, it brings me down to the next row. So now we're going to enter in the information, the following information. So under financial, I'm going to type in agricultural economy. And I notice I have a typo. I'll go back and fix that when I'm all done. Skill level. And then under population, we're going to have appropriate system. Again, I have another typo. I'll fix these when I'm all done. Alright, so let me go back and fix my typos that I have here. Alright, so we entered the information into our table, and we just hit the Tab key, and that navigated us through the table. Now that we have all of our information in here, we're going to go, notice my table is still selected. I have my Table Tools tab, contextual tab, and we have two tabs, our Design and our Layout. Under the Table Styles group, we're going to choose the More option. We're going to go to the bottom of the gallery. Notice that there's a Best Match, a Light, a Medium. We're going to select a Medium Style 3. Alright, just a plain old medium style 3. I want to click the financial cell in my table. Just click in that cell. And in my Table Tools Layout tab on my ribbon, so here's my Table Tools, I now want to activate the Layout tab on the ribbon. We're going to choose the Select button in the table group. So where's my table group? Here's Select, and they would like me to select the row. And then I'm going to choose the Center button in my Align group. So again, I'm going to come over to my Align group, and I want to choose Center. Notice there's Center and Center vertically. I want Center. Let's go back to our Select button. This time I want to say Select Table. I want everything selected. And then I'm going to say Center vertically. So these are two different options. We're going to click on the Design tab, back to our Design tab. I'm going to go to my Effects button in my table group. Here's my Table Styles group. Here's my Effects. And I want to point to the cell bevel, and then I want to choose a soft round. It says it's in the second row. There it is, soft round. So the 3D effect makes the cells of the table stand out. Now we realize that the table will look better if it was in a different place on the slide. So we're going to take our pointer over the top edge of our table, and we're going to drag the table straight down so it's in the blank area of our slide. So I'm going to bring it back down right about here. That's where they would like me to place this. And I click anywhere to deselect the table. I'm going to go ahead and save my changes. The last thing we're going to do for this lab is insert and format some word art. We're going to navigate to slide number 4, so I'll scroll up and select slide number 4. In my Slides tab, I'll select that thumbnail. I'm going to go up to my Insert tab on the ribbon, and then I want to go to the Word Art button in my text group. So I need to go to my text group and then select Word Art. I want to locate a Fill Orange Accent 2, Outline Accent 1. It's in the first row. Fill Orange, Accent 2, Outline Orange, Accent 2. I'm going to select that. This object now appears in the middle of my slide, and it gives me a sample with the word art style that we selected. I want to click the edge of my object, all right, because I want my cursor, my pointer to change, and I want to drag that to the blank area of my slide. So I'm going to bring it just down below here. Next, I want to go to my Word Art Styles group. They haven't asked us to type anything in here, but they will. All right, I just saw the instruction. All right, so we moved it to the blank area of our slide. They want us to go to the More button in our Word Art Styles group, the More Word Art Styles, and they want us to move over all of the galleries and then just take a peek at what they look like. They would like us eventually to change this to a gradient fill, olive green, accent. Nope, that's not the one. All right, they want a olive green, accent 1 reflection. I may be in the wrong section. Here's my word art styles. Am I in the right section? Here's my word art styles. There's a soft bevel. I think this may be it. I need a gradient fill olive green. Gradient fill olive green accent 1 reflection. You know what? I think there's a typo in our text. So our text says an accent 1. It should be an accent 5. I'm going to go with this one. This is what it should be. We're going to take that text and we want to decrease the font size on our mini toolbar that appears. Okay, so if I did a right click, I'm going to see I should see a mini toolbar. They want us to decrease the font size to a 48. And I don't see that, so I'm actually going to go to my Home tab and I'm just going to hit the decrease font size so that it is at 48. And then inside the box, it's selected, we're going to type in clean water equals self-reliance. Alright, so I do need to select that. Clean water equals self with a dash reliance. Let's go up to our text effects button in the word art style. So let me activate my drawing tools tab here for formatting. I want to go to my text effects and I want to go to my 3D rotation option, and they would like me to select an off axis 1 right. It's in the parallel group. Off axis 1 right. Off axis 1 right. And then we're going to click the blank space of our slide. We're now going to move to our reading view button. So it's the one that looks like a book. And we will choose the navigate down here. Here's next. Next, until we get to the end. So we'll go all the way to the end of the presentation. And then we click End Show. We're now going to move to our slide sorter view. And we want to see all 15 slides visible, so I'm going to use my zoom until I can see all of them on my screen. Alright, so I can see all 15 slides. I'm going to return to a normal view, save my changes, and we are done. This was a long one, so I hope you were able to hang in there, stop at any point, obviously, along the way. Alrighty, thank you.